Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Rippin Reptile Podcast from your boys at Predatory Exotics.
This is episode 3 of the Rippin Reptile Podcast, and this one is going to be main topic talking about zoos.
Yeah, so it's something we both quite passionate about, zoos and stuff. We've been to one together, we've been to ones individually, so we're going to talk about all the different ones that we've been to in the past, what we think about zoos, because some people don't think zoos are a good idea, but obviously they do a lot of conservation stuff, so we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about sort of zoos, like the history behind zoos. That's something I quite like seeing, like the history, zoos in like the 1900s and stuff like that. I think that's really cool, and we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah, we want to start out by saying thank you for all the support of the first 2 episodes of the podcast. It's actually doing really well. And we're hoping that will make more for you in the future because you guys keep enjoying this series.
Yeah, like you must like listening to what we have to say at the moment. Obviously, we've got loads more topics lined up, so it's not like we're going to run short. We're doing it every other week, so hope that's enough for you. We don't want to do it every week and then you get bored of it. So every other week you'll get to listen to us talk for 45 minutes about a random topic. Obviously, we've got our topics now, but if you put forward a topic, we'll possibly talk about it.
We're not planning to do them in any order.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a list.
Yeah,
I
kind of just, I have like 5 or 6, and then it comes to us recording it, and I just go pick one.
Here's the list. Pick one, and then we do it. Before we actually start into the topics of zoos, we'll talk a bit about because it's Christmas, the week that this is being released.
Oh yeah, this will be released on the 23rd.
And it's currently the 17th, so it's only a week before. So we do hope you guys do have a good Christmas.
Yep. Obviously, you've got our Christmas episode on actual Christmas Day because it's our Friday release day.
So hopefully you enjoy that. And then we will see you guys in the new year. After that.
So it'll be, the next Friday is the 1st.
It will be literally the first day of the new year. And hopefully everything goes to plan and we'll have some good content coming out for you guys. We've got a lot planned and just hoping it goes to schedule.
Yeah, we've got loads planned. I don't want to spoil it, but it's actually crazy.
Yeah, and just hoping it goes to schedule.
Indeed.
But let's get into the topic for today, zoos.
Zoos. So let's start off with, we've been to a zoo.
Together, yeah.
Together. We went to London Zoo. If you haven't seen them, they're quite good. We did like a separate reptile house one, and we did like a around the zoo tour. So I'd been to that zoo once or twice before. Had you been before?
I have been to that zoo, but when I was a lot younger, like before I moved to Canada.
Oh, okay.
So that we're talking a good over 9 years ago.
Yeah, because literally, I've obviously travelled quite a lot with my parents and stuff, and I pretty much go to a zoo everywhere I go.
Yeah, I feel like my family do aim to do that because it's just something that you it's just something to do.
A requirement. I'm like, where is the zoo?
I don't think I remember seeing one with such a big reptile place though. They had quite a lot of reptiles.
Yeah, I know. Like, I've been to most of the zoos in the UK.
Yeah.
But apparently the best one is Chester Zoo. And there's Colchester Zoo, which is sort of in like above Essex, I think. And then Chester's obviously quite far.
To Chester Zoo.
It's a long way.
But I want to say that I have. This is something I'd have to double check.
It's like a 5-6 hour drive.
Because it's at a point where you've been to so many zoos, you forget which ones you've been to.
Yeah, so I've been in the south. I've been to obviously Drusilla's.
Yeah, that's
Drusilla's is like everything, like gold member as a kid.
If you are locally around our area, then you most likely have been to Drusilla's.
So from like Drusilla's, then like my grand's favourite, we always used to go to Marwell. Have you ever been there?
I don't think that name doesn't ring a bell.
So it's like, I think it's like Hampshire.
Okay.
And basically they have free roaming stuff as well. Which is like crazy.
Longley.
Is it that one?
Because Longley has
No, it's not stuff. Like that. You don't drive through it.
Oh.
It's like like they've got like 3 or 4 species that roam around.
Oh, okay.
So they have like maras. Do you know what mara?
I don't.
It's like a rodent thing.
Oh, okay.
Like it looks like do you know what a capybara?
Yes, yeah.
Like a skinny capybara.
Okay.
And smaller. So they have them roaming about, and I was like, it's got loose. I'm pretty sure that's there.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It's loose!
So there's that one. Then you've got Howlett's in Port Lim.
Okay, yeah.
I've been to both of them. My cousin's the rhino keeper at Howlett's.
Oh! I didn't know that.
Yeah, so my mum talks to her all the time. Like, she's been on... There was a programme... Oh, what was it called? Like, as a kid, do you know Steve Backshall?
Yeah, that name...
The guy, he does like 60 Deadliest.
Yes!
But he used to narrate this kids' zoo TV show.
Oh, okay.
It was like a kids' zoo TV show.
Let's see if I can find it.
And she used to get interviewed on it, which was really cool.
Steve...
Yeah, it was like The Zoo, but obviously The Zoo is now the programme on Chester Zoo.
Yeah.
On TV at the moment. But it was called like The Zoo or Zoo.
Steve...
I'm pretty sure it was him.
Steve Backshall, he's done Deadly 60, Expedition, Blue Planet Live, Lost in the Land of Tigers, Deadly, lots of exploration things, Nature's Micro Worlds, Meet the Hedgehogs, Britain's Lost World. Christ, this guy's done a lot of TV shows, actually.
Oh, if you know the programme, comment it.
Yeah,
comment it so that we can look it up and find it, because I remember always used to watching that as a kid.
Mm.
And then the other thing I watched as a kid is Longleat.
Yeah, I did.
Because my parents would never let me go.
Really?
Well, I've been once, but I can't. I was a kid. We went once, but all I remember was I don't think we went in our own car.
Mm. I've probably been about 8 times.
Because my parents didn't want stuff getting ripped off the car.
Yeah, no, it is the thing with like the monkeys.
Because I remember then going into... They have a reptile bit, which is on foot, which you can go in. So I remember going into that. But I remember, always watching that as a kid.
Yeah, no, I've probably been about like 8 times to Longleat.
Really?
Longleat's like, because like, I just remember, I don't know like why this one thing is stuck into my head, but we were in our car, we were parked, and you could like, there was a guy walking around with food that you could buy, and you bought it, and you could feed like these deer that just came up to your car.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just engraved in my head, that image of me just handing like these oats to this deer from my car. I was like, that's amazing.
And then obviously we went to London Zoo, but there's the other part to London Zoo, the
Whipsnade.
Whipsnade.
Yeah, Whipsnade.
Have you been to that one?
I haven't. No, that's the one I haven't been to.
Yeah, that one's quite good. Obviously they got a lot more room for stuff there, so they've got the elephants and stuff like that. The other thing with Port Lim, I've stayed there overnight.
Oh, okay.
I did like a glamping. So like you go there, you do like a safari. The safari's not open to the rest of the zoo. And then you go up and there's like these tents and they cook like loads of food for you.
Oh, damn.
Like,
that'd be something interesting to do. Especially once COVID's like gone. That would be interesting recording.
Yeah, it's like this posh tent cabin type thing. And you do the safari and then like the zoo closes and you can go around certain parts of the zoo and stuff, which is quite good. And then that's all the ones I've been to in the UK, I think.
Yeah, I've been to like Monkey World.
Oh.
Which I know you're not the biggest fan of, because it's just monkeys.
It's just monkeys.
But I have been, it is technically a zoo.
Oh, Isle of Wight Zoo. I've been to Isle of Wight Zoo.
Don't think
they've
I've
got
been
like
to the
white
other
lions.
Okay.
That's alright.
I've been to... I'm pretty sure I've been to a zoo up in Lincoln. Or in the surrounding area of Lincolnshire.
Yeah, I've never been anywhere. I've been to Edinburgh Zoo.
Okay. I think I have.
Edinburgh Zoo's on like a massive hill.
Okay.
And it's actually like I went there when they've got pandas now. I went there when they were building the panda thing.
Okay.
And like it was opening like a few months after, so I didn't get to see them. Which is annoying.
I know that like my mom's gonna be listening, so it's be like, you have been to that zoo.
Yeah.
What are you saying? When I'm like, I don't know if I have.
Oh, do you know about Like this is a fact about pandas.
Okay.
Any panda in the world is owned by China.
I did know that, actually.
And it costs, last time I knew, it costs £1 million a year to rent the panda.
A single panda? That's mad.
And even if you rented 2 pandas, bred them, you got to pay £1 million for the baby panda every year. Like,
even though it's technically yours.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, I do remember hearing something about that. Like China owns all the pandas in the world. Like the Queen owns all the swans.
Oh, that's not true.
UK.
Apparently.
Really?
Apparently it's not true. Like, I know everyone says that, but I don't think it's actually true. I know some of them. I think she owns like certain species of swan.
Oh, okay. So when it gets into the technicality.
Yeah, so she owns certain species of swan. I don't know if she owns the black swans and stuff. It's like mute swans and whatever.
Okay.
And then I don't know if it's like confined to certain areas.
Oh, okay. Well, like surrounding
like
London.
on the River Thames and stuff. But I don't know. I think it might possibly been like she used to own all the swans. But then she was like, oh, I can't be bothered.
I can't bother to own this many swans.
I can't be dealing with some guy killing the swan and I've got to deal with him.
Yeah. So zoos outside of the UK.
Outside of the UK. What's the best zoo you've been to outside of the UK?
I think I've only been to one.
What is it?
Toronto Zoo.
Oh, I haven't been to one.
Oh.
I didn't go because I only went to Toronto.
I've been there a lot, like a few times.
Yeah.
Because every time like someone came to visit Canada, it was like, let's go to the zoo for a day.
Oh, okay.
I would take a gander that I may have been to one in Germany. Because my cousins lived out there for a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure. Other than that, I don't think I have. Because every time we went to America, it was like Disneyland.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't really go out to
Oh,
a
but
zoo.
there's Animal Kingdom.
Oh.
Which is awesome.
Are you counting that then?
Yeah, I've been to Animal Kingdom.
Then yeah, because I just count
It's the only good bit. I hate Disney. I went there. We went to all the other ones. Went there for like 2 weeks. We went to Animal King, like all the other bits.
Yeah.
We went like once.
You don't like the rides?
No. Animal Kingdom, we went like 3 or 4 times.
Oh.
Because I just love animals. I've always like...
Yeah, I get that. But I'm a big fan of roller coasters as well. And the whole Disney experience.
I just liked Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I have been to Animal Kingdom. But then... I think because that's the only place I've really been in America is Florida. For Disneyland.
Yeah, but the best zoo I've ever been to is in Florida.
Oh.
It's the Miami Zoo.
Oh, okay.
Because basically, what's awesome is there's no fences, but it's not open, so they're all moats.
Oh, okay.
So like you've got your like rock, and then a drop, and then obviously there's water, and it comes back up, and then you've got their land bit that they're on. So there's nothing between you and the animals in any of the enclosures.
Okay.
But it's really cool. And then
that's an interesting way of doing it.
So there's that, and it almost looks like it's... I don't know how old it is, but it looks like it was built... Like it's been there a while.
Yeah.
And then they've got a monorail that goes round the zoo.
Okay, yeah.
But up high. So it's on like stilts.
Okay.
And you go over all the enclosures.
That's pretty cool. That's the kind of stuff I'd build in like...
It's on Jurassic World.
Yeah, like that's the kind of stuff you'd build in like the games that you play.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the coolest. Like I only went there once, but it, probably for me, like from what I remember of it, it's the best one.
What other ones have you been to outside of the UK?
So I've been to Parc Omega.
What the hell is that?
In Quebec.
Oh,
Canada,
okay.
Which is like the Longleat of Canada.
I'm surprised I've never been there.
Yeah, it's called Parc Omega. And you basically get in your car, drive around, and then there's like all the bison, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you drive through the bison enclosure, and then there's bears, but you don't drive into the enclosure. You just like drive past the enclosure.
Okay.
So there's still a fence, but you like drive along the fence.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and then there's these really cool enclosures where you get out of the car, and then there's like decking up on stilts that walks through the forest, and then they've got like a wolf enclosures and moose enclosures.
Okay.
But they're like absolutely huge, so you kind of have to like be there for a few hours
just to try and see one.
Just to like wait for one to. It's not like it's good for the animal because they've got loads of space and there's not people like...
Well, that's the thing is I was in Canada for 9 years and we only ever saw one moose in the wild.
Yeah.
Only ever one. And it was... I don't want to say like... But sadly it was a female.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of the big hench males with the horns, but it was a female. We have a picture of it and but yeah, 9 years. And it wasn't like we weren't like looking like... Every year we'd go to like a cabin in the up north and we'd go out and look for them and it was only ever once we saw it and I was like, that's like insane.
Yeah.
Like how like small of a chance it is. But they're big.
Yeah.
They are big.
Yeah, they're like
People. I don't think people understand how big they are.
like if you hit it in your car, like the body is at your windscreen, and it just goes through your windscreen.
It's more than likely it will be
It's-
okay, and your car won't be okay.
Oh yeah, you'll be like crushed.
Like, and then it will like walk away. And
Because like their legs are really up high,
Mm.
so like your bonnet just goes through their legs, and then the whole like I don't know how much they weigh. They must weigh
Loads.
ridiculous, but that's going straight at your head.
Yeah, they are big.
So yeah, Park Omega's good because you get to do that, and then you get out and there's like just like a massive cabin that's got raccoons and stuff.
Okay.
Like there's like the gift shop, and then the gift shop like there's a balcony, and then the raccoon enclosure is like the trees, and the raccoons can come onto the balcony and stuff,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
which is quite cool. So I've been to them. I think that's it for. Oh no, I've been to Central Park Zoo in New York,
Oh, okay. Yes,
which is pretty good. Like the reptile house in there is
It's good.
like it's like a massive. You know, like the one at Regent's Park in London.
Yeah.
Where you not the reptile house, but the rainforest house.
Yeah.
So it's similar to that, where like the middle is a big jungle, and you can walk through the jungle. But then on the outside, like there is at Regent's Park, there's enclosures, and it sort of spirals up, and they're all the enclosures are built into the rock.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then you walk through the middle, and there was like a massive peacock, and they had
This is a singular massive
there was
peacock.
a massive peacock.
Just that massive peacock right there.
And then they had like some quite cool enclosures. They had one that had like two snakes. Pretty sure one was like a Brazilian rainbow boa.
Okay.
And then they had a toad in there as well. So it must have been like a cane toad or something.
Yeah.
And then there was another species of snake. So it was like sort of like a South American enclosure
Okay.
with 3 different animals. So I assume they cohabit
Yeah.
fine.
You would hope so.
But that was pretty cool to see, because I was thinking like, what's going on here? Like, and they had some cool species of like, they had like gopher tortoises and stuff, which are from America. So that's a really cool zoo. It's quite small,
Yeah.
because obviously it's in New York, but like you don't realise how big Central Park is. Like in the UK, like you think New York is massive. Like how could there possibly a zoo?
In the middle of.
But that part, that's like only part of the park.
Yeah.
Have you been to New York? Or?
No, I've never been to New York. Florida is the only place
Yeah.
in America I've been to.
So yeah, that's ridiculous. Like it's pretty cool. They've got like a vintage sea lion thing in the middle,
Okay.
where obviously they do tricks and stuff like that.
Like the penguin one at London Zoo.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool to see as well, because you said you enjoy the vintage.
yeah, like that's kind of my thing. I like seeing the black and white photos of zoos.
There's a person you follow on Instagram, isn't there?
Yeah, like I found them the other day. Like I've realised that obviously they weren't keeping the animals.
Oh, 100% no.
Like, but that's kind of why we're here today.
It's a learning curve.
Like, yeah, they went out in like the 1800s into the middle of the jungle, caught a tapir, brought it back to London or whatever, had no idea how to actually
keep this animal.
keep it. Like, loads of them probably died, unfortunately. But they're kind of the reason we know what we're doing today, because they were like the pioneers of.
They started the passion of keeping animals.
And I just want to think, like, obviously we can't get into the mindset of, like, imagine being a kid. Like my gran, she lived in London.
Okay.
She was born in 1929.
Okay.
So imagine her going to the, like, some of them pictures I showed you from like
Yeah.
1930s. Like, imagine her going to a zoo, seeing like a tapir, and being like,
What the hell is that?
like, surely your mind just wouldn't comprehend.
Even though like it's not as on a big of a scale, I still get that now today. When you show me some reptiles
Yeah.
that just I've never heard
Yeah.
of before, and I'm like, what is that? like what animal is that?
Yeah.
It's like, and then I feel like there is still some of that stuff today, but it's on such a smaller scale. It will be some animal
Yeah.
they find, whether it's 1,000 feet down in the ocean,
Yeah.
or in some cave in the middle of the Philippines, and they'll find an animal, be like newly discovered animal, but it's not like
I saw it the other day. They
like polar bear size.
Yeah.
You know,
they found like 18 new species in Bolivia.
that's what I mean. Is they're finding this stuff. It's just not on a mass scale of a huge animal. All the big animals, I feel like, have kind of been discovered.
I just think it'd be crazy to go to a zoo and be like, everything you see, you're like, because like you could go to a zoo and be like, there's a species of snake that I haven't seen, but it's still a snake. So you're not like, oh my god, it's got no legs. Like, whereas if you go there and you see something that no one's ever seen,
you're
like, what?
But then, hopefully, eventually down the line, it will happen with us travelling to different planets and stuff like that.
That's the closest I can think to like what they must have felt when they saw those animals. It's like, we can't picture what an alien would look like. Obviously there's a cartoon alien,
of course, the generic,
but you can't guess what an alien's can be like because you have no reference point in your head. Like, you think it must have like...
Segueing onto a topic, have you seen that new show on Netflix?
Oh, I want to watch it because it's got some crazy monkey things.
Other Worlds is literally that kind of thing where someone has thought of what an alien would be like, of the animal, and how they act. They've literally created an animal.
It looks like...
It's documentary style.
It looks like someone's taken LSD
and literally
been like, I've created this.
I've made all these animals.
So have you watched it yet?
I've watched the first episode.
Oh, okay. So is it like each episode is a different world?
Yeah, following like different species and stuff.
Okay.
But then the thing is, they've also intertwined how they interact and all that. The animals.
So it's like a proper ecosystem.
This animal hates that animal, but then they get on with this. But then they'll eat this animal, and it's like you gotta have some like creativity to come up with this kind of stuff.
Have you played No Man's Sky?
I have.
Don't say you didn't like it.
I pre-release bought it.
Yeah.
I hated the pre-release.
Oh, because you couldn't do as much stuff.
You couldn't do anything. They promised all this stuff, and then it wasn't
it's
what it was.
It's basically like a constant beta, that game. Like,
the only cool thing was going to the different planets and seeing the animals.
Yeah.
Other than that, there wasn't anything else. And then they had the massive update where they added multiplayer and all that. Then it became a lot better. I've got it on my PC.
It was basically like 1 in a million chance of you seeing another person.
But it wasn't actually true.
Oh, was it not?
No, it was all fake. They literally were like, oh, because it's an actual galaxy, you will never see someone. It wasn't true. They didn't actually add in the multiplayer.
Because then I thought, like, oh, you could have literally been on the same planet as someone because they didn't have multiplayer and you couldn't see if someone was near you.
That's what we were all hoping for, though.
Yeah.
What they promised, but then it wasn't actually true. But then they did add multiplayer, not to the extent that we wanted it to be, where it was an open galaxy, you could, like, claim a planet or something.
Yeah.
Even though it is a cool game to play.
I just like the exploration, because... Yeah. But then I did find... Because they said, like, there's unlimited possibilities for what the animals will look like, because it's computer generated. It's not like people have designed them.
Yeah.
But then I found that they all did still have similar...
aspects, because it's still limited. Because if it was created by people, you'd have endless possibilities.
Yeah.
But with a computer, there is still that limited... key aspects.
But yeah, there were some cool ones, but the rest of them just looked the same.
But it's because it would have been a lot more work to get people to think up of an animal and then create it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just ran a program to create it, it does become But that would have been cool if you got like 2 million people all to just send in one animal that they would want in that game.
Yeah, that would have been quite different.
But then of course you've got to program all that, and that takes a lot. I was in game design for a bit, and that takes time.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
But then, going on to games, we have just purchased Planet Zoo.
Yeah, I feel like that's the reason you wanted to do this one today, because something I've wanted to play since it came out, but I play on PlayStation, so I don't have a computer and stuff. And I used to always play as a kid Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah, Zoo Tycoon 2.
But I used to play it like the original on the Game Boy.
Oh, you're going old school. No, I played Zoo Tycoon 2. Having a bit of issue there. Zoo Tycoon 2 religiously.
But Zoo Tycoon 2 came out on the DS first.
Oh, I played it on the PC.
Yeah, so I played it.
I didn't really play.
I played it on the Game Boy, the original one. Then I played it on the DS, Zoo Tycoon 2, and then I played Zoo Tycoon 2 Ultimate Zookeeper Edition on the PC. So it had like the Endangered Animals pack. But you had the...
I had the Ultimate Collection, which had all the dinosaurs and all of that jazz. And if you look back at it now, in my head, the graphics were awesome.
Yeah.
They were not. If you look back...
I can't
If you look back at some of the pictures now... So, basically, I bought a game, didn't really like it, I refunded it, and I was like, I've got this money now back in my Steam account, what could I buy? And I saw that on sale was Planet Zoo, and I was like, oh man, because I bought Jurassic World.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that,
and it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be because you couldn't do like free play mode.
Yeah, so that one, if you haven't played the game, you have to complete the storyline to unlock the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So I pre-ordered it. You get 5 extra dinosaurs with the pre-order, but you still have to unlock them in the game.
Yeah.
So there's different like tasks and research tasks you have to do, and then some of the islands are really difficult.
But that's what I mean, is I thought, oh, this is awesome. Sorry, I just hit your knee. Oh, this is awesome. I'm building this whole zoo. I built it on this island, and then it was like,
you move on to the
next stage, next island. I was like,
yeah,
I'm hoping all my progress.
Planet Zoo, you can basically just sandbox.
Well, yeah. So I then saw that Planet Zoo was on sale. Planet Zoo itself, all 4 DLCs.
Yeah, so you get the
and the deluxe pre-order.
Yeah, so you get the original. You get the South American pack, the Arctic pack, the Australian pack, and then the aquatic pack that's just been released. And then I was like, oh, it's annoying you can't get the pre-order animals because it's got Komodo dragon, and obviously we're all about the reptiles. And then you're like, click.
I saw that it was in the deluxe edition.
So you get a pygmy hippo.
You could add the 3 extra animals.
You get a pygmy hippo, which is quite funny because that's your sister's like.
Yeah, my sister loves hippos.
Yeah, because she said that.
Especially pygmy hippos.
Thompson's gazelle, which I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was a trash one for a
That
pre-order.
is kind of like the generic Zoo Tycoon animal. That's what
like,
that's the first one you
like
buy.
On Zoo Tycoon, you would literally be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a safari
enclosure
which has got giraffes, zebras, and gazelles.
And one of them was the
Thompson's gazelle. It's like the most generic one.
But
I was like, why have you made that?
That you were most excited for was the Komodo dragon.
Yeah, I want the Komodo dragon. But like, it's so intense, that game, in terms of the reptiles and stuff.
Yeah. So before we go into that, I got it for £26.
Yeah.
£26? Yeah. Yeah, because the game bundle was 20. It was like 23, and then it was 6 extra. So it was like almost 30 quid. I got all of the stuff.
Yeah.
And then the pre-order thing as well. And I was like, that's a bargain. It's on sale. Because I knew that you really wanted to play it. You'd mentioned it before.
Because I looked up the other day, there's now 95 animals in the game. And like, ridiculous amount of scenery. So like, the aquatic one's just been released.
Yeah.
So it got released
like this month as well.
Yeah, with 5 new animals and 170 different scenery items. So there's ridiculous amount you can do on that game. And then in terms of like us, obviously we like the reptiles and stuff.
Yeah, they've got like tree frogs and stuff
like
that. You can get.
With the aquatic one, they released the Curver's dwarf caiman, which obviously you're really into dwarf caimans. And then, like, not only do they have the Galapagos giant tortoise, they got the Aldabra giant tortoise.
Yeah. Restarting that record. Okay.
And then they've got the red-eyed tree frogs.
Yeah.
They've got like different types of iguana. They've got like a huntsman spider, 2 different tarantulas.
That's mad that they've added spiders.
A giant centipede. Like, I don't know if you have to have a certain enclosure, like the enclosure's pre-done.
Well, yeah, so we bought this. We have not played it yet.
Yeah.
I've booted up the game and created an avatar, and that's it. And I saw that there was a sandbox mode, so we are excited now, and we're literally going to be playing it after we record this episode.
I looked through, and they've got bongos.
What the... Like the actual...
Yeah, not bongos.
Not the musical instrument.
They're like this red antelope deer.
Oh, okay.
With white stripes down them.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
They've got them, and I was like, that's one of my favourite animals. They have warthogs, but they don't have red river hogs.
Oh,
red
the
river
ones
hogs.
we saw them at the zoo. Yeah,
they're like my favourite.
But this is what I mean. It's like the expansion just came out this month, which means that they're still
they're not going to stop
updating
doing
this
stuff
game.
anytime.
Which
If you think about how many things they did for roller coaster
Tycoon.
yeah, was that the game?
No, Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster, yeah.
Oh, it's the same company,
It's the same
isn't
people.
it? Oh, of course
Like, they
it
just
is.
constantly brought out stuff for that game.
I might buy that as well. I enjoyed.
But I don't like.
Did you play Roller Coaster Tycoon?
I don't like roller coasters.
Oh, fair. Yeah, actually, to be fair, that's a really fun game as well because you just create a theme park, which I think is an awesome thing. I love theme parks. But yeah, so we are excited to play it, and I don't really know what we're going to design in it. We're just going to make a zoo.
Yeah, I don't know if probably start without the reptiles and do like see what cooler animals there are.
I'm hoping that we can do it in a challenge sense. Whereas, although I like Sandbox, I want to be able to
still monetary.
Earn money to then be able to afford something, not just have all the money to make a zoo. So hopefully we can tweak the settings and kind of make it. If not, we can put our own rules into it. And then hopefully make a zoo. But then, talking about making a zoo,
we want a zoo.
To an extent.
Yeah, we don't want.
We want a reptarium zoo.
Yeah,
we're not going to be having pygmy hippos, or anything like that. But of course, like we have mentioned, we are wanting to make a facility.
Yeah, so obviously it's not going to be. The reason I think people don't like zoos, some people, is because they think they're just putting animals in cages for people's entertainment.
Which
it was.
Isn't incorrect, yeah.
Like, it used to be, obviously when I told you about, like, vintage stuff, I like that, they would get the animal and it would be, like, an entertainment.
It would be in a cage, some straw on the floor, and that was it.
Whereas now, like, these animals are in ridiculous enclosures. Like, some of the ones...
safer than the wild.
In the newer zoos, where they just put so much enrichment in there, they put so many, they build like an enclosure that's 10 times the size of what they used to be in. Like, obviously it's not anything comparative to the enclosure they would be in the wild.
Yeah.
But then in the wild they would get diseases.
Yeah, you've got to weigh out the cons
predation
and the pros about it. Like, yes, they are limited to an aspect. Like, it's big enough for them. But then, they've not got predators. They've not got, diseases. All this kind of... They've got medical help if they do get sick.
And I think most zoos now, even if the animal that's at the zoo isn't for conservation purposes, the money that brings to the zoo then goes towards conservation. Cause,
especially people like the Steve Irwin family.
Yeah.
Like, their whole the amount of land that they've bought.
Yeah, they bought ridiculous
for preserving it, based off of money that they've made off of their zoos and stuff like that.
And even London Zoo, obviously they've got.
Oh well, the camera has gone on it, but we'll continue the audio. The battery has died, but we haven't got long. We've got about 5-10 minutes left. Anyway,
one of my favourite foundations is the Edge Foundation.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
It's basically owned by ZSL, which is the Zoological Society of London.
Okay.
And basically, I can't remember what it stands for. It's like ecologically diverse and whatever. I can't remember. Basically, it's all the animals that no one likes.
Okay.
Reject. But I like.
But you like.
But I like them. So... They preserve animals, so they do a lot with amphibians.
Okay.
Because obviously there's the whole chytrid fungus, or whatever it's called. Chytrid.
Sure.
I can't say it.
I don't know.
But there's this massive fungus that's a real problem for amphibians because they've got such sensitive skin.
Yeah, of course.
With climate change and stuff, amphibians will be the first thing to go because they're so sensitive, and a ridiculous amount of them are going now. So this fungus is really bad, and they sort of conserve all the different species that... everyone loves tigers.
Yeah.
And they'll go to the zoo, and they'll be like, I want to save the tiger.
It's cool, it's a tiger.
I don't want to save this ugly frog like, which most people think is ugly, but I'm like,
We
that's
think
a
it's
really
beautiful.
I think that's a really cool frog. And they do a lot with different stuff, and they go out in research teams to save
And to
different
be honest,
species.
I feel like, I hope you guys do notice that as well. We keep some species that
Yeah.
aren't as commonly known, and especially in the future. Like, we have a list lined up of stuff we're wanting to keep.
Yeah, and some of it is weird.
Like, some of it is maybe stuff you've never heard of. Or because we do still keep the generic stuff because we do enjoy keeping them, like the bearded dragon, the crested gecko. But, like, yeah, we've now gotten into some extra species, and especially, like, I've gotten into, like, different subspecies of mantises,
Yeah.
mantids that, like...
And, like, it's stuff that's not common.
But we like that.
And that's what I mean. Like, we want to raise awareness.
Like, I feel like our most unique one right now would be our sand geckos, because not a lot of people know about them. Or our skinks. The skinks. The wedge-snouted skinks. But then we provided, like, a care guide based off of what we knew. Because no one else had.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Is, we can release the crested gecko guide, and we have. And people can watch it if they'd like to, but there's so many of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The wedge-snouted skink one, obviously, we post on Instagram a lot.
Yes.
And when I post about the wedge-snouted skinks, like, people like it, and we got published on the Reptile Report, which was really good. And basically, if you go on Instagram, like, hashtag wedge-snouted skink or hashtag Chalcides sepsoides, which is the Latin name, it's me and one other person.
Yeah, it's just... So but then people are loving it as well.
Yeah.
People are like, I want to know about the species, I want to keep... We get messages saying, I'm looking to buy this species. Do you know how to care for it? And we send them the care guide, and they're like, wow, this is great. I haven't been able to find one. And that's because no one else has done it. And so we're a bit like...
So we want to find them species that we're really passionate about, and there's not a lot on them.
So we have a list of stuff we're going to get. And we were filling the list, and I was saying to Tom, I was like, you know, what other species could I look into keeping? And you opened my eyes to salamanders, which I had no idea about. Like, you look at them and you don't think they're real. For the starters, they just don't look real. But they're so cool, and it's just like a land amphibian. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, salamanders. I like the fire salamander. I'm really interested in, because you can get so many different subspecies. Like, you can get depending on where they're from. Like, they're from different altitudes. They're black and yellow, but you can get a high yellow or a low yellow, and then on the yellow you can get this, like, red blotching that looks really cool. So
we've seen some spotted ones as well.
Yeah, you get spotted. So many.
Like on the belly as well.
Oh, there's the fire-belly newts.
Yeah, those.
You got tiger salamanders.
This is what I mean, and I was kind of looking at them, and I was like, damn, like, and so I have decided on one. I'm not going to spoil which one I'm looking into getting, but there is one that will be added to our collection eventually. But yeah, we just kind of like bringing those more unique animals because
someone's got it.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's got to bring them to them, and then maybe they will become more mainstream.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're breeding our animals anyway.
Yeah.
We're hoping that the skinks breed.
Yeah, obviously we've got 4 skinks, and skinks are notoriously difficult to sex and breed.
Ours are captive bred.
Yeah, so ours are 2nd generation captive bred. So their grandparents were wild caught. The person then bred them. And then he bred the offspring of them, sold them to the pet shop, and then we bought them from the pet shop.
And hopefully now we're going to continue that captive breeding.
Yeah, so we've got one fully adult, which is quite big.
Yes, and if you look on the Instagram, we have a picture of it on a rock, and you can tell...
She's chunky.
She is chunky.
But then it's hard... We're assuming it's a female because of the size of it. Obviously, females are usually bigger with them. But it's hard to... You can't really observe any mating things. They're underground most of the time. So with the geckos, you can hear them chirping and stuff. And you can sort of eventually figure out which ones are males and females, and the fact that the males have a small hemipenal bulge.
Yeah.
And in general, the females are a bigger size. So we know we've got them, and then we've got our babies. So that's a case of observation and stuff.
And then also the fact that they give live birth makes it more difficult as well, because it's not like you can incubate them and know that you've got the eggs. It's suddenly, what the hell is that running around in the enclosure?
This tiny little thing that you might not even find until you eventually see like this tiny little snout.
We are hoping, we have a small theory, we are not sure that the big one is pregnant.
Possibly, yeah.
Because it's acting a bit different, coming out.
Yeah, so it started basking on the rock right under the hotspot, which would sort of indicate that she's never done that before and she wants to warm up for some reason, possibly to incubate, or possibly she just ate too much.
Yeah. It's a small theory, but we're hoping.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to tell if they are pregnant.
Yeah, and obviously that hotspot is 38 degrees.
It is the hottest species we keep right now.
Like, it's hotter than the bearded dragon.
Yeah, he's on like 36.5. So if you think about that.
And the skinks, they go from 38 to 42.
Yeah, that's
like, I haven't bumped it up that much
style.
Because, yeah, like, they're probably one of the hottest things you can keep.
Yeah. But yeah, so we are hoping to bring you guys these extra species that maybe you haven't heard of.
And if we do have like a reptarium, it's more unique. Obviously, you can go to London Zoo and they have a reptile house, and they've got cool stuff, but they might not have the stuff that they want. Stuff that's going to bring them money at the end of the day. So they have like the cool stuff, the bigger stuff, whereas we would want to show you stuff that
we aim to educate.
Yeah, we want to be like,
species.
Did you know about this species? Like, it's not a snake, even though it's got no legs.
Yeah.
But I want the European legless lizard and stuff. And like, I think it's a cool education sort of topic.
But yeah, I think we are.
You're ready to wrap it.
We are roaming up to time right now on wrapping up this third episode. It's been a good one though. Loads have talked about, and we'd like to know your opinion on zoos.
Yeah, if you let us know whether you like zoos, you hate them, like what's your favourite
All
zoo?
opinions are welcome.
Yeah.
If you hate zoos and you think they're an awful thing, then share it with us. We want to know. We want to know why. Don't just put like we don't like them.
Yeah.
Tell us why. Tell us a bit about, because then it sparks a bit of a conversation, and we do respond to comments.
Yeah.
So
we'll always respond to your comments and let us know which one's your favourite zoo.
yeah.
And if it's in the UK,
And recommendation.
we will try and visit it, because obviously we've done our London Zoo video, and we want to do some more zoo tour videos.
Yeah, just waiting for COVID to
Yeah.
kick over. But yeah, so
And Crocodiles of the World, I forgot to mention.
Crocodiles of the World. Crocodiles of the World is actually a specific one I do want to go to. I know we're supposed to be rounding out, but I'm quickly going to throw this in there. Because it's a place that I would have to get contact with if we ever look into getting dwarf caimans in the future. So it'd be interesting to talk to them, go and see them, and hopefully...
Oh, I've forgotten one. Wait, everyone, don't leave.
We're getting this extra little bit in.
Little Ray's Reptiles in Canada. It's in Ottawa.
It's a zoo?
It's a full reptile zoo.
Oh, okay.
Like, all they have reptiles, and then they have like a lynx and some meerkats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they have like dwarf caiman that when I went there, they got a baby one out.
Oh, okay.
And like let me hold it and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I went there and I was obviously from the UK, and they were literally like loving it. So like they were getting all this stuff out. They got like little crested geckos, and yeah, they got loads of stuff there. They got massive reticulated pythons. They got the dwarf caiman. They got rattlesnakes, and then they have like a whole room that's like a North American room.
Yeah.
So it's got like fox snakes, bull snakes, stuff like that. And then I think I told you about before the baboon communal enclosure.
Yes.
It was like a massive, must have been like 100-gallon tank.
Oh, damn.
That had like 40 baboon, like all their different tunnels and stuff. But that was pretty awesome. I thought I'd throw that in there.
But yeah, so we'd like to appreciate your comments about your opinion on zoos, and we hope that you have enjoyed our third episode of the Rippin Reptile Podcast.
And we will see you in a couple of weeks for another one. But in the meantime, check out all the other videos, because there'll be loads of different videos on the channel.
A Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year, and we will we'll catch up with you guys in the New Year.
We will.
All right, guys.
See ya.
Bye.